Hello everyone, my name is Ahmad Risto Islam Marianto, and I want to give my opinion on people sentenced to life imprisonment should be allowed to choose the death penalty instead. I think it is their individual choice to decide whether they want to live or die, because it is very inhuman if they are live without freedom inside the prison their whole life. People deserve their freedom even they was committed crime before. Life, life imprisonment is similar to death penalty in terms of the emotional and physical toll it has on the inmate. Therefore, they should be allowed choose choose the choice, and it is very kinder to allow individuals to choose that to choose the option of death over the lifetime of torture in prison. I think that is my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the time. Before that, I will introduce myself. My name is Aditya Nur Fauzi as a leader of opposition. Actually, I disagree with the motion. People sentenced to life imprisonment should be allowed to choose deathly penalty instead. Because Indonesia has different article regarding life imprisonment and death penalty. Uh, The Criminal Code Pasal 20, paragraph 1, at the same time that penalties stipulated in Pasal 365, paragraph 4 of the Criminal Code. Okay, the death penalty criminal code is regulated as a criminal of unique nature and is always clearly threatened. Uh, the criminal for life is regulated in the criminal code, punishable by imprisonment for maximum of 20 years. And Indonesia, there are many criminal penalties for people who violate. For example, there was an accident about grandmother stealing cocoa plants who received a prison sentence of 3 years. And there are many examples in Indonesia of criminal. Okay, that's all. That's all for me. Okay, thank you, and thank you.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. I am Cahya Sabita, and then life imprisonment is one of types of criminal sections regulated in the Indonesian Criminal Code. Based on Article 12, Paragraph 1 of the Criminal Code, imprisonment is divided into two, namely life imprisonment and imprisonment for a certain time. According to Hennessy, in the Journal of Life Imprisonment in the Indonesian Criminal Law System, 2030, when viewed from the qualification, life imprisonment will be given to a person or group of people who commit serious crimes. In the criminal law system in Indonesia, life imprisonment is almost always used as an alternative or substitute for the death penalty. The condition above explain that life imprisonment needs to be interpreted as imprisonment for life until the death of the convict. Provisions related to this period are supported by the nature in the indeterminate of life imprisonment, which results in the convict not knowing for sure when the convict will finish his sentence. This is in line with the difference in the purpose of life imprisonment with imprisonment for a certain time. The purpose of life imprisonment is oriented to the idea of protecting the interests of the community, while imprisonment for a certain time aims to foster and rehabilitate convicts to be released back to the community. So I agree the sentence that was originally sentenced to life imprisonment becomes the death penalty because a life sentence is tantamount to death in the future. It is just that the death penalty uses a supporting tool for the death penalty. This is all for me. Thank you.
Okay, next, I'm Muhammad Bagus as a deputy leader of opposition. So in Indonesia, the death penalty does not violate human rights rules and is the harshest punishment for a criminal and can be judged by how big a criminal has committed a case. In sentencing, dying alone must be far from a noble law foundation. Moreover, the death penalty is far from the word noble. I respond from Affirmative Team. My friend Aditya mentioned that from chapter 12, paragraph 1 of the criminal code has explained that it is punishable by imprisonment for a maximum of 20 years. It said it should not choose the death penalty instead of a life sentence. A life sentence can be reduced if the suspect does well during his time in prison. So we can take the example of the case of Jani Indo. The case began planning the first robbery to a gold shop in the Kebun Kacang area in South Jakarta. With these three friends scooping 2 kilograms, Johnny Legend action leave no trace until it becomes opium to this is action back sharply in supervising the activities of robbery by his friend by seeing 4 kilograms of gold. He resulted in Johnny Indo entering into a life sentence. Sentencing him was not to for life. He was released from prison before he finally closed his age. From such example, it can be concluded that people sentenced to life imprisonment should not be allowed to choose the death penalty instead because life. So that's for me. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Alvin, and I've never understood why people consider death penalty as a harsh punishment. To me, it's an insult to the victim and their family. Death is so easy. We shall all die one day. Millions die every year, even unexpectedly at young ages or in accidents, not just war. If death was truly so horrific, humanity would do a lot more to stop all the senseless death that occur every single day that even you as an individual can stop. That is the easy way out, the free card to escape all your guilt or your thoughts and your regret and your responsibility. No matter how horrific your crimes, all you will do is return to whence you came before you were born, an endless nothingness where neither pain or consciousness exist. Now, is that a punishment only going where every human being will end up after a short time on earth anyway? Spending a lifetime behind bars, being able to imagine but never experience freedom, or walking in green fields and sunlight, or having and raising a family with only your regrets as company for decade after decade, forgotten by world with no hope until you draw your last breath at an old age. Now that is a punishment. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, I am Febrina Dewi as opposition wife. Indonesia has many regulations that its people must obey of the Indonesian state, include criminal penalties and human. Indonesia itself doesn't violate and regulation on human rights. However, these laws can change because every human being has human rights. Regulation is undoubtedly perfect for the world of law enforcement in Indonesia, but it's terrible to be associated with the death penalty. Take is negligent or inattention and result in a suspect being accused for this punishment. Therefore, before we should try to give a lengthy prison term like 15 until 20 years is better, because the human himself is a place of error. It is better to allow the suspect to reflect and regret their action. And at the time in custody, it would be better to be given rehabilitation so that the suspect can evaluate and regret his action and not repeat his action.